Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Men must always cultivate their options. You know what, in my videos when I'm talking about, that thing of ours called game, or on my website when I do Sunday morning podcasts when I talk about success, or on my private site where I'm telling men how to develop sexual magnetism, or on my online school where I have different courses on, developing sexual magnetism and, that thing of ours called game, right? The purpose of all of my books, all of my perspective with regard to men is to help them to develop themselves so that they can have options in dealing not only with women in life, but life itself. See, a lot of times we talk about the man who hasn't really done anything with his life. Or we talk about the man who gets caught up, starts simping for, a woman with a bad disposition. And we say all that, but the only reason a man would be in any position, a negative position, is because he has not developed the options to get out of that position. Or a man who has not, cultivated his options, he's going to have to settle for the first woman who shows him at least mild interest. And usually, if that's the case, it's the type of woman who was, she wasn't sexy enough for Mr. Goodbar, and she didn't have the right look, or if we're in the black community and we're going to be honest, the right complexion for the masked man. Oh yeah, let's just be honest about it. And that's another video though. So shit, she get with that man. That man, she ain't really feeling him, and she gonna take out all her frustrations with the select man on him. But the only reason that man is there because he didn't have the options. Now let me talk about just success in life first, right? Because that's the most important. The other stuff is secondary. A man wants to always cultivate his options. And the way he cultivates his options is to always acquire knowledge. Not just knowledge about his purpose in life, right? Not just knowledge about that, but what he can do, what's capable of doing. First thing, he has to know himself. And then he has to know where he wants to go. Then he has to find the multiple ways of getting there. Because, for example, you have many men who don't really educate themselves. They luck up, they get some job, and, since they're able to, show up to the job on a steady basis, they build some standing on that job, and you make a good amount of money, maybe able to get a car, maybe, at least a, nice place to sleep, maybe even a home, depending on the job. But then what happens when that job lays them off? And that's happened with many a man. They put their all into that one thing, and they get laid off, and then, crazy things happen. If they in a relationship, the woman will start noticing a difference. That's because that was his only option. As men, we always see our nature as men is to go out into the world, find out how it works, and then reshape at least our corner of the world to our liking. And the way to do that is with knowledge, is with cultivating all of our skills. It all is finding out what we can do. Now, often I've talked about, I mentioned I have a day job, and, for myriad reasons, I don't discuss what I do exactly. But it's actually diametrically opposed to me, like my publishing, and me talking on YouTube. It is diametrically opposed. In fact, it's not cerebral at all. But here's the thing. One, It keeps me in shape. Two, it gives me that option out here. See, I can do several things. And see, I developed, like I mentioned in several videos ago, I had a summer job in D.C. Back in around '84, cleaning up streets in like a real bad neighborhood in D.C. Right. After I did that, I could work anything. But I have that option. I have that option doing manual labor. I have that option of doing sales, of working retail, starting a bookstore or something somewhere, or doing work in the government. That's because I cultivated as many paths, as many options as I could. So ultimately, regardless of whatever the overall financial situation is going on, I always have a skill set that I can always get work. But that's just cultivating those options. I actually look for it. I actually look to do different things. I actually look to learn different things. And that's one thing I have to say for many men. Cultivate those options. Now, I know y'all ain't tripping over that because y'all cool in y'all job, and you don't think Trump's president is going to affect whatever you're doing now for a living. And y'all like, well, Rom, what about with these females? That's especially where you need options at. See, like I said earlier, the average man who's dealing with like that woman with the disposition of a wild gorilla and built like a water buffalo is only dealing with it because he has not developed himself to the point where he can get that better looking woman with a cooperative personality, with a pleasant personality. See, being able to get that type. See, a man, when dealing with women, he wants to put himself in a position where he is able to attract a wide variety of women. And that's one of the main things I'm telling y'all in my books. And people say, well, Ron, you just trying to sell your books. Well, yeah, I'm a salesman. I'm in business. This isn't, this isn't public television right here, okay? I don't really ask for donations. I sell shit. But I'm telling you what you getting when you buy shit from me. And I'm telling you how to develop your options. See, I don't have to deal with that woman with the gorilla disposition. I really don't. I don't have to deal with that, somebody built like a water buffalo. Because I cultivated myself so I could attract a wide variety of women. So instead of like being that hunter and just like putting an arrow in like one woman, I just throw a net. I'm throwing a net like over like a group of fish, and then I'm just throwing them out. It was like, oh, okay, got funky attitude, throwing her back. Dress ain't hanging right, throwing her back. Oh man, she went in them feminists, definitely throwing her back. Might throw over there to the shark. But that's why I've developed those options. That's why like I've said, I've had a couple videos where I talked about like some very good women, particularly black women I've encountered in life, and people are like, well, how you meeting all these fine women? How you doing that? Because I cultivated my options to the point where that's all I have to deal with. I don't have to deal with that negative woman. I don't have to. That's the beauty of it. I don't even have to. I don't even have to deal with them for money. Like when I was actively doing book signings and seminars and all of that, if a woman had an attitude, I could just be like, you know what? I don't think this book is for you, and I really don't feel like having this conversation. Because I already knew there was 3 other women behind her who was going to buy the book. So, I mean, it was just a matter of having the option. I have the option if I'm going to deal with this person. I even have, even if we're going to really talk about relationships and what men have, I even have the option of who I want to have sex with and when I want to have sex. See, a lot of men get caught up because they haven't like attracted enough women. So if that like less than optimal woman says, hey, she want to get with him, shoot, he running over there. And what we call them, those thirsty men. He's so thirsty. Rom ain't thirsty. So it's like, as long as I know I keep the options, shoot, I can go like a couple months, because I was like, there's somebody always there. I would be focusing on business and stuff, because it's like, at the end of the day, it's just like, oh yeah, I could get some, but I could like work on this book, or work on this book that's going to bring me a continuous stream of passive income for years to come, or I can work on this video that's going to be, well received. Or, you know what? I might just say, hey, you know what? I just want to chill out. I just want to meditate at night. But it's cool because I have that option. So, that's it, y'all. You want to always work to have that option. You don't want to have to settle for anything. You want to be at a point where you have the best career opportunities, best life, best place to like live. You want an option of where you can actually live. It's like you can walk on a car lot and buy whatever. It's bigger than women. I mean, the women part, hey, that's obvious. You want the ability to attract a wide variety of women. That way you can only deal with the good ones. But it touches having the options, having that power, because that's what it is. Having that type of power, you can live the life that you want to live, and you want to always work to cultivate that power. So, anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk to you later. Peace.